We're here at Showplace Studios with Ben Elliott to talk about the Mike-E and find out what Ben does with it. So you've been using the Mike-E for quite a while now.
I guess even before it came out, I was a beta tester for it, so I put it through the paces, and I've probably tried it on almost every instrument that's come through here.
What do you feel that it really shines on? I mean, what are your favorite applications?
Well, one thing that I found that's a unique application is for snare drum, especially on jazz sessions. I've been putting an extra mic on the snare drum, a second mic, and putting it through the Mike-E without any compression. I've been boosting up the mic pre-gain and the drive knob, the saturation knob, and using the saturation as you would compression. Just sort of like hitting the tape really hard so that the transients are smoothed out and the lower signals are coming up in gain, and the higher things are getting squashed. And I'm able to mix that in and get all the ghost notes that normally would be drowned out on the snare drum.
As well as the clean hits.
Right, and what happens is by me using no compression, none of the other instruments are sucked into the mic.
Right.
So it's very, very useful.
Fantastic. That sounds like that's a great trick.
Yeah.
Have you used it on acoustic guitar?
Yeah, I've used it on acoustic guitar a lot, and I find that really smooths things out. Plus, having the drive circuit is really what sets it apart from other mic pre's, because you can really get the simulation of analog tape and get a lot more character, because the mic pre itself is very clean. So if you're using a ribbon mic that needs a lot of gain, you can have, this is my cleanest mic pre out of, I must have 50 mic pre's in here. This is the cleanest one.
Wow.
And then if I want to add some character to it and a little dirt, I can use the saturation circuit to achieve that. And then because it has the mix control also to go between the dry signal and the affected signal, I can put in as much character as I want or keep it as clean as I want.
Can you give us a little example of the process you go through when you make the choice to use the Mike-E instead of one of the other myriad mic pre's you hear? What spurs you the direction towards the Mike-E?
I think I use it on the featured instrument because it's a lot cleaner than any other mic pre's I have. So if that's going to be the most prominent thing in the mix, I don't want to bring up the hiss or the hums from, a lot of the vintage mic pre's would have, but I still can get character of analog tape from there using the saturation circuit.
Interesting. So a lot of the time the solo or the featured instrument is,
I
goes
put through the
Mike-E.
Mike-E.
Have you been using the compressor section of the Mike-E?
I do use it. I mean, I have a couple distressors. I'm a big fan of all the Empirical Labs stuff.
Yeah.
But having a stripped down version of the distressor sort of built in, it makes the choices a lot quicker. I'm not, I don't have to move, the release and attack times. Everything's
not
sort
as
of
fiddly.
Yeah, there's definitely like 4 or 5 choices on there for release and attack, and I think that's really good for an engineer that's just starting out too.
Yeah.
Because he sort of has a fail-proof system built in now where everything's going to sound good, whereas the distressor, you can really go over the top and you come out with something that you may not be able to correct later.
Beyond your mains, beyond your mains, your life becomes a nightmare and not a pretty dream when you live beyond your mains, beyond your mains, beyond your mains. Working for success to find it's not what it seems, and you live beyond your mains. Expensive clothes, expensive house, Jones has done a block out of pool, and everyone around is trying to keep up. They don't give a damn about the golden rule. Beyond your mains, beyond your mains, your life becomes a nightmare and not a pretty dream when you live beyond your mains, beyond your mains. beyond your means. You're working for success to find it's not what it seems, and you live beyond your means. Puff out your chest, create a big bluff, risk of your mental health. Prestige is less of an issue when you're secure within yourself. Beyond your means, beyond your means. Life becomes a nightmare and not a pretty dream when you live beyond your means, beyond your means, beyond your means. Working for success to find it's not what it seems, and you live beyond your means. Yeah, many years are wasted that can't be redeemed when you live beyond your means, when you live beyond your means.